welcome back to the Music Career Show. So it's been a while since I've had one of my mates on the podcast, and today I've got a very old mate of mine coming on to talk about himself and what he's up to. So this man was one of my best friends in college, where we studied sound engineering together, and in the past 10 years or so, he's gone on to shape himself a career as a songwriter, a producer, a sound engineer, a record label owner, and now he's the CEO of a brand new artificial intelligence tech company specifically aimed at musicians and helping them build their fan base and all that kind of jazz. And he's going to talk all about it today. So his name is Pete Rust. Pete, it's good to have you, lad.
It's awesome to be on the show, man. Really, really great to see you and get talking to you again.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's now 20-1. Myself and Pete hopped on the call just before 12 o'clock. So there's been plenty of gold that all of the listeners have unfortunately missed out on. But probably best that they don't actually hear half of what we were chatting about.
Yeah, we first met each other. Barry was 17 when I first met him. He
That's
was
right.
A very interesting chap and a bit of a wild man as well. So all the old reminiscing of all the fun stories have been gone. So the podcast listeners may get spared the worst. We'll see.
Aye. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. So Pete, why don't you introduce yourself to people that maybe don't know you just yet? Tell them what it is you do and who you are and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Pete Rust. I'm a musician from Dundalk in County Louth in Ireland. And I've been in bands for years. I studied music technology and sound engineering with Barry starting in 2010. And after that, I was in bands, gigging for years, recording records, set up a recording studio and a record label and an events company. So it's the Lockup. It's been here for about 12 years in Dundalk. It's a cornerstone of the music scene here in the Northeast. So a load of the first gigs and paid gigs I ever played were Lockup gigs and festivals and stuff. And I slowly became working with the Lockup and Dagan, who's my co-founder of the label, and Fanify, the new company that we're talking about today. So I doing all that, I learned a huge amount of music promotion, how to promote bands and artists online, and how to build a fan base and reach out to real people who are into certain types of music. And then when COVID happened and there was no more events, no more gigs, we went heavily learning about digital marketing and developed a huge amount of techniques that helped bands and artists go viral. And then one of the bands we were recording their album in between the lockdowns of COVID is called Pork Pie, and their drummer is actually a tech entrepreneur. And after seeing the sort of beta of the technology, and he tried it out for their band and got 20 times what he had before, he decided to invest. So that's Shane Brad. He's our angel investor and lead advisor. So that was the start of Fanify. So we created a tech company, did a huge amount of research, figured out exactly how we wanted to build it, and basically use AI to read everything that we as a label would do to help bands and artists build a fan base, and long term, over time, starting from a cold audience to growing how much they like a band, at the start they feel like they've discovered it, they grow on becoming a bigger fan of that band, on and on. And we would do that through a very labor intensive process with lots of spreadsheets and color coding and just a huge amount of work that an AI can do instantaneously. So there's an AI technology behind it, and it learns how people respond to music. It uses all these APIs of Spotify and Google and Meta, like Facebook and Instagram, which we all know knows everything about us already, but particularly Spotify and these services know what music we like. They know the listening habits, when, where, and how all of us listen to music. And like you know this, Barry, this is the sort of this is what always wrecking my head for years and years and years. You go and play an open mic, and there's 100 people at the open mic, right?
Yeah.
And you go up and you play your tunes, songs that you've blood, sweat, and tears poured into writing. And at the end of it, you're chilling around, and one or two people come up to you and they go, "Man, I love that. That was class. That was dead." Yeah. They mention a lyric or the chorus or something, and you're like, "Oh yeah, they did like that. That's, oh yeah." And you drive home, the biggest smile on your face. But then you're like, your head's wrecked, because you're like, if only there was a way I could just show my tunes to that 2% of people. Like, I can't gig everywhere. I can't go to every open mic. I can't be everywhere in the world. Most hardest touring band in the world ever. Can't do that. No. I wish there was a way I could just take my music and somehow show it to that specific 2% of people in a specific way to make them feel like they've discovered me, like at that gig, and that they get re-engaged and they keep seeing my content and my music as I'm doing my career, and they grow alongside me. I wish there was a way. That's how I felt for years. Well, now you don't have to wish anymore, Barry. There is a way, and it's called Fanify. And that's basically what we've built. For years, I've used every single service trying to learning all about this and trying to get these results. Like, so I felt that pain, and all the, you know, in Dundalk is an incredible music scene. So we've got the Spirit Store, and there's also like Black Mountain Studio is up in the mountains here beside us in Dundalk, and it's got an SSL and a skylight in the live room. Like, it's a big world-class studio. And we've got the Lockup recording studio here, and Lockup Records as well is our label. So we've got our first band signed to the label. It's called Four Way Mirror, and we've been sort of producing them and recording them for the past few years over kind of COVID, and they've been writing songs and working on their debut album. So the first single is coming out on the 1st of March. So we might chuck a wee link into that into the description, where you can pre-save and put in the link once it's out on the 1st. But so that's a lot of what we've been doing, and the gist of how Fanify works. So the way I talked to the team when we got the initial investment, and I got all these developers working with me, and I basically said, this has to be as easy as to sign up to Netflix or Amazon. You just need to that's the other thing, is that there's all these other music tech companies that I love. There's DistroKid and CD Baby and TuneCore. And when we were in college, and when I started helping people to release music that I recorded once we left, 10 or 12 years, whatever it is, it was a headache to get your song up onto Spotify. It was a headache to get it onto Apple. It was like a day for each service of fucking record label admin tasks. Yeah. And like that's where I actually started learning the more businessy side of all this. It was like, oh my God, I'm so much frustration having to do this just to get that blue check mark for this band, because their tune deserves it and my mix deserves it, etc. I'm going to get it up there. And then these music tech companies, DistroKid and TuneCore and CD Baby and Ditto, and there's loads of them now. LAMDA, the AI mastering service, will distribute your music. They stepped in, and now if you have your audio file and your image file, your piece of artwork, you just create your account, upload the file, put the name of the track in, pay money, like signing up to Netflix, and a day or two later, blue check mark, your artwork, you press play, you hear your voice, and up there in the corner, man, is that green circle with the 3 little things in it. Feels class.
There you go.
Here's the thing.
You're painting a lovely picture there.
Yeah, but check it out. Let's continue the story. 6 months, 12 months later, you have 50 listeners. And you're like, oh, that's so annoying. I've put all this money. I bought my instruments. I spent years learning to play them, paying like a really good music teacher like you, Barry, to learn how to play music. And then you pay the band pays the rehearsal money every week, rehearsing all the time. You pay a recording studio to record it. You pay to get mixed. You pay again to get it mastered. Then you pay CD Baby to have it up onto Spotify. Yeah. And 6 months later, you have 50 monthly listeners, and you're like, what the hell do I do? Yeah. And you are one of 6.3 million. 80% of the bands and artists on Spotify have less than 50 monthly listeners. And that's 6.3 million. And they don't know what to do. So like some of the competitors, like we kind of briefly mentioned, that I've tried everything, are like the playlisters. Oh, pay us this money. You always see on their website, it's like, this amount of money gets you this, almost like a direct transaction, like you're buying Coke out of the back of a van or something. You know what I mean? It's not like a service that you're signing up for, like a, you know what I mean? Yeah. And okay, you pay your 50 quid, and then your monthly listeners jumps up. But like, look at the data. It'll have no devices. It'll have no location. It's just sort of like they're bots. You know what I mean? They're just like and it's terrible for your music career, and nobody knows this. So I've inadvertently hampered my own music career previously with other bands I was in and videos and content we were promoting. Because what happens is you pay this service, pay for play, to just get all the views, get what it's telling you, but it's all bots. So the picture that Spotify has of your listeners and the picture like Facebook or Instagram or YouTube has of your audience is muddy. Because it's like these are all just these random accounts that are just playing everything. They're not real people with real interests and real habits that they track. So when
Yeah.
they're trying to organically grow your channel, when you're posting all the time, because you paid money to have one video to have that little number be massive, the
Yeah.
views, like you're after ruining your data, you're hampering and harming your music career. And that was
Nice.
a tough lesson I had to learn. And that's one of the problems. So like all the sort of content that I was showing you earlier on the call, and that we could
Yeah.
even might put some links to or something like that, just to genuinely show people it's not about just your monthly listeners goes up. It's about real people, engagement, comments, conversations, you actually speaking to your music, to your fans, to
Yeah.
engage, start the conversation. Because like these days when I'm promoting, and I say this to bands and artists as much as possible, go back to playing music and let Fanify build your fan base for you. But don't forget that you are a salesman for your product. Like now it's the
Yeah.
independent music industry. The technology has freed us. We don't need corporations and the massive major label industry out there. You can do it
Yeah.
yourself. You're selling albums and you're selling t-shirts. You're a fashion salesman at the same time. When you're standing outside your gig greeting the fans, you're there selling your merch. Make some money. You put all this into it. Make money back. Take the industry back. Everybody, I say this to the world,
Yeah.
every musician and band and artist, think about your wallet and the value. The value of anything in this world is what anybody will pay for it. That's what my accountant told me when I had to sit down with him the first time. My accountant who's here in Dundalk 40 years. He's like, the value of it, and Pete, is what somebody will pay for it. So you make them pay for your merch. Make them pay for your music because you're worth it as a band and artist. I believe in everybody. I believe that with technology now, it's the door is open. And we saw this. We learned this in college about the change in the music industry. The back in the day, too. You see, what happened was, and we know this story, Barry, the old music industry, you didn't get into a studio unless you were amazing, because the studio had a producer, the main engineer, the assistant engineer, the tape op. For a big business like that, they also had a fucking secretary and all this. So and the desk and even the tape. Now hard drive space is basically free. Back then, every take had a cost to it with the tape. So like you didn't get into the studio unless you were amazing. Whereas now we have the technology that it's a lot cheaper, and there's so much ways of improving and learning and making ourselves create amazing art, whatever we can imagine. And now obviously the world of AI is changing every day. Nobody knows, like I speak to a lot of people in the tech industry every day, and what some of them who are really clued in way more than I ever would be are saying is that AI is going to change things more than the internet did. And not just in terms of like commerce and money and the economy, but from medicine and military and every information, education, everything. Like I was talking, one of the guitar player in a band we were recording the second half of their album over the weekend here in the studio, we were just chatting about this actually, and he made a great point. He's in tech. He's a software developer himself. He's a guitar player in a band as well. But he's talking about the translation industry. So in 2003, the technology got to a certain point where even in Ireland, we'll say 20,000 people employed in translation, sitting in offices, like translating phone calls or, live translators and stuff. And in 2003, all of them just lost their jobs in about a month or two because the technology just came along and replaced them. And that was where it was for that direct, simple kind of thing at the time. But like, just even to like, there's a guy who you might have come across. Have you ever heard of Bill Simpkins?
The name rings a bell, all right.
Producer. He's in the northwest of America. He's an amazing man. I've spoken to him a few times. Years ago, he gave me great advice on mixing and recording drums and stuff like that. He's run blogs, great Facebook page, but he's run blogs before all social media existed. Sharing, as he believes, he's similar to me. He's a similar philosophy of like, share your information because you're just increasing that knowledge out there in the world, making more cool music happen, all that kind of thing. And people have learned loads about him. But he actually put up a post there just like a week ago saying, sorry for the doom and gloom, but with Adobe's AI voice enhancement technology, he's like, I tried this in my studio. You can just record your voice on a phone, put it through the technology, and it sounds like you're recorded through the Neumann U87 through my Neve preamp in the live room. And I just did it outside walking around on my phone. Because the AI knows now. And I think in 2 years, 3 years time, you'll be able to chuck your phone in the middle of the room when your band is practicing. And the AI will hear the entire drum performance and pick it out and hear every snare hit, every hi-hat hit, the entire groove. It will map out the bass track. It'll map out the guitar. It'll map out the vocal, and it'll piece it all together. And you can say, now I want my drums to sound like Dave Grohl and Nevermind, or Bonham on Zeppelin 4, and I want the bass to sound like Roxanne and the Police, and or you know what I mean? Like, you just the AI will just be able to do whatever you want, and automatically to an insane degree. Obviously, we're all playing around with Chat GPT now. That's going to be like, remember, like the days of dial-up when you'd be like, I'm getting a picture, and it's going boop 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 boop. That's different, but only in 2 years. In 2 years, that change will happen now, and you'll see it. And man, the world, it's gonna be interesting, and it's scary being the CEO of a tech company that has AI right at the front of it right now, man. And I'll be honest about that, but it's a good kind of fear. So I just rambled on a whole lot there about your first question, so I'll pass the buck on to you anyway.
You did indeed.
Sorry,
You're after giving us the guts of 15 minutes worth of an intro there. But that's and I'm gonna go back and see. I think that's an absolute record for the podcast. I don't think anyone has introduced themselves quite as in depth as you have. So fair play. But all very, very good and relevant information, and really, really good thoughts. You're definitely very passionate about all this, which is excellent. So I'm gonna reverse back just a little bit, Ian, and ask you, where did music all start for you?
Yeah, so my kind of journey was, I was like a young teenager, like 14 or 15, and that kind of like where you get to the age and it hits you about like, what's your place in the world? What's your meaning to keep going? You know what I mean? You kind of just, you're sort of just, when you're young, going through the ringer of, school and then this and then that, and maybe go to college, whatever. And then something kind of hits you, and that's kind of like, you realize how big the universe is and kind of what's your place in it. And I really was just left empty one time. And maybe I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I was definitely just feeling empty and sort of alone, or sort of, I just had something I needed. And then I just played some music one day and like just heard a song, Pink Floyd tune, and it just sort of changed my life. Heard a tune and the room like shook when I put it on. And I just taken away to another world, and had a feeling that I never had before. And all I said to myself was, I need to be able to do that, whatever that is. I needed, you know. So I first picked up a guitar. My dad had a guitar, a Squier Bullet Strat, just that he got as a Christmas present. He played when he was young, because he was like growing up in the 70s when it was rock and roll. So there's a guitar lying around, and I learned how to pick that up. And then I just went mental writing for years, and I wanted to learn how to produce and create the art from start to finish, which led me to Pulse to learn how to sound engineering. And I just love everything to do with music. I can't stop learning. I can't stop. I write songs every day. I'm mixing and recording every day, even though I'm running the tech company and doing all these things. And I just love living and breathing it, and it gives me that meaning and keeps me going day in, day out, nonstop. And just like after that, like I started a couple of bands. I played gigs for years, and like I was saying at the start, got into recording. Just every aspect of it, I've always been massively interested in it, in the whole thing, because I think it all wraps together. So even like
it does,
we were talking briefly at the start, you know, songwriting is all about psychology and what's going on in our heads. And it's like, you know, all art is the human heart in conflict with itself.
There you go.
Music promotion is exactly the same thing, as you're just tapping into people's emotions, because you're just trying to get them into the art. And it's not about like marketing or any of this sort of real commercial soulless type of stuff. That's what I love about what we're doing with this, is that I truly believe that technology is going to free us all. And man, whatever you're listening to me, whatever day it is, we're recording this in February 23, whatever day that you are listening to this podcast, Pete Russ said it today. You're hearing it now. Technology is going to free us all if we do the right thing with it, you know what I mean? And not allow greed to overrun everything, but at the same time believe that Fanify, or if we don't do it, someone else will. If some other company is going to do this, it's going to make you able to build a fan base automatically without needing to learn anything about digital marketing or go and pay for play and all of that sort of stuff that's confusing. That's never worked for me anyway. This what we've done over the past couple of years with the record label and our YouTube channels and all that kind of thing. Like we learned all the hard lessons ourselves, so you don't have to. Now you don't have to learn anything; it does it automatically. That's the sort of pain that we're trying to fix. That's out there with people, you know.
I'll tell you what. Then let's actually get into Fanify, because that's where the bulk of the episode is going to be, and I really want to find out as much as I can about Fanify, and I'm going to start. I've assumed the identity of someone that knows absolutely nothing about all the things you just said. Things about like your Facebook pixel or your digital marketing or your Spotify APIs and all those other things, KPIs, SOPs, all that tech stuff and all that business stuff that me and you have had to work really, really hard to actually understand. That we had to put in like proper work to know what an SOP is, a standard operating procedure, do you know what I mean, and all those kinds of things. So I'm going to assume the identity of someone that knows absolutely nothing, and I'm going to be I want to ask questions as a complete and utter novice, that I know how to play guitar and I know how to write songs and I know how to sing songs. That's it. So first of all, what is Fanify in the simplest way possible? So what is your 30-word elevator pitch for Fanify?
Fanify allows you to go back to playing music and build a fan base. Basically, all you need to do is record yourself on a video playing your tunes. If you have songs up on Spotify, great that you've gone to a studio and all that stuff. But get yourself playing your music, pouring your heart and soul out, and capture it on that phone that you have in your pocket. And don't waste any time. Pause the video now. Stop listening to me and Barry and go and pour your heart out into the phone and upload it to social media. And it'll probably just sit there and get nothing until you sign up to Fanify. You just add a link to that video to Fanify, and we use AI to show it to people who are going to love it. We understand music fans. We all know someone who loves Metallica or loves the Beatles. They'll go on and they'll know every tune, but you show them a new band and it just whoosh.
Yeah,
don't care.
Absolutely.
They're not me and you, because I know you, Barry. If we hear a new tune that excites us, we get so, we're like, we want to know, what's that band? I have to make sure I don't forget them. When I like them on Spotify, I'm going to save the tab, whatever. We're mad into it. The AI knows those people. So it knows if there's a new music fan and they like thrash metal and you're a thrash metal band, or they're a new music fan and they like Celtic-y, hard rocky metal with chick singers that gives them, and the songs are about Lord of the Rings. They love that, and they'd buy t-shirts. They did get on a plane to see bands like that. Yeah. So we know that, and we can show it to the fans of that. Or if you're like, I just sound exactly like Ed Sheeran did when he was playing on the streets of London, and I'm going to be the next Sheeran. You put your video up of you busking and see what you get. Like what my things in the last while, because I'm too busy with everything to be in an active band in the past years, and with COVID it was really hard. So I've been playing away, but what I've done is tested out basically someone like me. I'm not actively doing anything, so I got the phone in our rehearsal room, in the room in there, recorded myself just playing some tunes, some songs I wrote myself, some covers. I'm going to send you a link, and you're going to read out to your listeners from the horse's mouth, Barry Carroll from Edenderry. You're gonna just read out some of the comments on this video for your beautiful listeners, and
that sounds like a plan.
Tell them how well, like, this is not like the most impressive. This is deliberately not an impressive video. So there's no band tied to this. There's no like, big promotion campaign or daily posting on social media. This is just, imagine you play guitar and you want to film yourself on a phone and slap it up into Fanify. That there is a cover of Kiss, God of Thunder.
Oh, I love God. I've seen this video.
You watched this one. Yeah. So, but just read out some of the comments there.
Right, okay. So, love it. Never heard the original, but sounds good, man. Rock on. This is excellent. Sounds great. Keep it up. Sounds good. Sounds groovy to me. Keep on rocking in the free world. LOX, LOX. I don't know if that's meant to be lol and kisses but hey ho. Better than I could do. Good on you. Dig it. Didn't recognize the song. Can't say you suck or anything. Thumbs up. Not entirely sure what part of it. That's a bit of a, do you know what I mean? But I'm sure that sounded better in his head. Or in her head, sorry, Jessica Fain. I'm sure that sounded better in her head as she was writing it. Not bad. Kiss are mostly garbage, but this isn't bad. You people comment.
I love that.
Here we
Fuck
go.
you, Gene Simmons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lick that up, lad.
I love it, man.
Yeah, okay. And so using this as a case study, then you literally, you've got 4,000 views on that. Jesus.
Yeah.
So you basically put this through.
Only-
I've seen this video. So this video is, I would imagine you literally just took the audio from the desk or whatever. It's direct audio. It's not like on your phone.
It's direct audio from the desk in the rehearsal room, and
Yeah.
it's the audio on the phone is there as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's
okay, grand. Yeah.
it's coming through. There's a guitar amp low, the vocal coming through the PA, and then it's recorded from the desk, and then there's also the audio from the phone. So we didn't even like slapped it into iMovie or something like that. You know what I mean? It was deliberately done in 5 minutes to just to test that and test like the minimum thing. Because
but you could definitely
prices,
just
like,
as you were saying, you could definitely just like what you're saying now, stop listening to the podcast, go put your phone in front of you, record you playing acoustically, and take just the raw audio from that, the raw video from that, no editing, no just retakes, no nothing.
I always tell people, in terms of like the cinematography and the audio production, decent is okay. Just these phones nowadays can capture like what you're really doing. It's harder when it's a full band and there's loud drums, a loud drummer with cymbals. And loud amps, things get very complicated. Me and you went to college to study all that, and we know all about it, and we know how tricky it can be. But like, if you're in a big loud rock band, maybe start with an acoustic video. If you don't have, get a produced video. So like, we'll put some links on this if you're watching the episode to see what we're talking about, because it can be annoying when people are rambling about something that you're not able to check out for yourself.
Yeah.
We'll link to that Kiss cover video. We'll link to some of our videos our artists have put, like the one I showed you earlier on Facebook. So just like, look, go on do you still have that tab open? Tell everybody how well that Fanify video is doing.
On Facebook.
That Facebook one. Open it up and say the amount of comments and look at the comments to see that they're real people and
Jesus, actually, I didn't read. So this one, it's got 1.7 thousand views. But it's got over 300 comments. 300 comments, 351 shares.
People sharing it, you're like, oh, I have to share this. I want to promote this myself as an organic fan, because that's how well it targets people. So that's a good example of one. They haven't been using the service every single day to promote that, but they have since they launched that last Easter, when we had a global kind of rollout of the technology and of the site, and they've had that on about half of the time. So, you know, you can basically Fanify. It's like, just to talk a little bit about the business. So, you know, it's a paid service like Netflix. So it's $14.99 a month. There's a yearly discount if you want to go yearly, if you're confident. And I have huge confidence in this project at this point. We can see the results for ourselves, and the AI is astounding me every day. But so you also pay a daily budget, but that goes directly to promoting the music. Okay, so do you
want to just clarify?
Yeah.
Can you clarify what the daily budget is? Because this was one thing that caught me this time last year when I got into the whole world of Facebook advertising, that as well as paying the like the advertising agency, for example. So in this example, Fanify is the advertising agency. So you pay your £14.99 subscription a month to use Fanify's technology. What's the daily budget then? What's the story with that?
So basically, every piece of content that you want to promote, you can assign a daily budget. So every day, that amount of money will be taken off your subscription, but used to promote your content. You can pause any of it at any time. So if you just want to, like, you have a gig this week and you want to run maybe all of your videos, so you put them all on at $1 a day for the week, and then, you know what I mean? So you're running them all, and then you pause it for the rest of the month. That's fine. If you want to have one video just running all the time, so like that example of that band, Four Way Mirror, they just wanted to have their one main video that was the start of generating their fans, so people would comment on it, and then they would start chatting to them, start conversations. They have a load of their debut singles coming out next month, and they have a load of people waiting for it because they've been promoting a video on Fanify. They started promoting when they had no content up on Spotify around. It was early enough days. They had some cool video content like that post, and they used that to promote it and to generate the start of that interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how it works with the daily budget. Basically, you're paying your monthly subscription. You can cancel any time, and your next billing date it pauses, no problem at all. And you can stop your daily budget at any time as well. And
And is
then
that
we're
daily budget?
launching
Is that on top? Is the daily budget on top of your subscription?
Yeah, so you're paying your subscription every month, and then when you choose to promote your content, you can pay your daily budget. So you just
Yeah.
pause your content if you don't want to pay it, and press play if you do. It's super simple to just log in.
Yeah.
If you have loads of different videos, you can have stuff on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, and easily manage it all from our dashboard. It's very user friendly. Like I said, it's as easy as signing up to Netflix, and and just that sort of user experience. It's very, like, even Facebook wrecks my head these days. With every 6 months since it's existed, they've added a new feature, and now it's just a maze of lots of different stuff. You know what I mean? But Fanify's even simpler than that. So if that type of thing wrecks your head, I would say just create the content and upload it. Every day, when you're plugging away at your guitar and writing songs, record something and upload it, and there's your social media done. There's the bit that the AI and the technology can't hold the phone for you and play the guitar for you. That's all I think you should do. After that, let the technology do the job for you. Stay playing music, stay writing songs, and being a band, being an artist, doing that, and upload your content. And whatever you think is the best piece of promotional content. If you had the chance of having one video play during the Super Bowl, if you could show one video to 1 million people to try and convert as much of them into fans of your band as possible, what video would you pick? Pick that video, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and put it onto Fanify. And that will create you a fan base. When people who see that, they're like, yeah, I like that song, I like his voice, I like the tune, whatever. And we re-engage them over time automatically, track them, all of their engagement, all of your content over time, to grow them as your fan very naturally with what we call the fan-artist relationship. So that's what the AI does. It understands the psychology behind how someone becomes a fan of a band or artist.
Brilliant. That's excellent. So like you say, the artist can now just focus on being an artist, doing what they're good at, and letting the technology take over for them. Now, you mentioned there about the price of it. So the subscription, and then you've got your daily budget on top of that, and that's absolutely fantastic. And I for what it's worth, I think that's absolutely excellent value, considering how much I know I've spent on like Facebook ads, lead generation campaigns, and all that kind of stuff to do sort of the same before. So that's really, really good value. And anyone listening thinking that they're not sure if they could afford something like that, it is really, really good value. You will not get better value. And from doing all of that sort of stuff, then I know that before I learned all about it, the first question that I had was, how much is this going to cost me, and how much is it going to make me in relation to that cost? So I now know how much Fanify costs, and to get up and running. And say if I have a budget of £1 a day, that's going to cost me £30 a month. So say £45 a month is what it's going to cost me to use Fanify.
Yeah, if you were running a piece of content every day, we're in dollars at the moment, so eventually it will roll out to sort of regional currency. But at the moment, it's dollars. It's actually cheaper than a pound.
So say £40 a day for anyone in Scotland or in England or the rest of the UK, or in Ireland, it'd be about €40, €42, whatever it is. How do I then turn those comments, shares, likes, all that engagement? How do I then make money from that? Where's the monetary value in the investment?
That's the crazy thing, in that this is what I say to everybody, whether it's a band, an artist, a musician, or a label, or an investor, when I'm talking to them. Fans are the music industry. So like 2021, 523 million paid subscriptions to digital streaming services. That, apart from the bots of the real people, that's a heap of music fans who want to listen to bands and artists. The vast majority of people who are buying a concert ticket or a t-shirt are fans of that band. Like that's the money that goes into the music industry are from fans. And fans are people that have gone through a psychological journey of learning to love a band. Like, so they discover them, that first thing where they come across them, and so either from algorithms and organic reach, or paid marketing, or happenstance, or radio play, or word of mouth, that band floats in front of them and into their ears over time, and they grow to love them. And we all know this journey that we're talking about, especially if you're a band and artist. You know how you became a fan of everyone else. It's just, you're like, how do I just reach those people? That's the point. Eventually they will buy all that stuff, and that's what Fanify does. Is it automatically, you gradually unlock all these things. So to start, we say just put up a video and start building your fan base. We also, there's the long-term piece, and that's where we get into what you're talking about, the e-commerce. So we haven't fully built every aspect of this, but over the next year, what we're going to be building is an automated e-marketing platform, so an e-commerce platform. So basically, if you can upload your logo, you can create a t-shirt and a hoodie, and it automatically creates, it knows who's going to be, like, who your fans are, who are actually going to spend money. And you see, you know, the crazy thing is Facebook and Instagram and Google know the amount of money that we all spend. Like, that's their business model. 99.5% of all revenue that Meta, Facebook has ever taken in is advertising revenue from companies making money through data and knowing people. So it's like, that's, if they're doing it, why the hell aren't we doing it? I'm saying, like, to all the bands and artists and musicians, take back the music industry. What does that mean? What am I saying? What's Pete saying? The industry, the money. Take back the money. You're worth money. Back in the day, they did that. Like, just, you know what I mean? One of my favorite stories is Zeppelin, one of my favorite bands, and Peter Grant, one of the best music managers to ever live. When they started, the biggest band in the world, started touring the States. And they, every single city, all in all the flyover states, and a massive, raging fan base wanting to see Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And they're going on tour, and their first tours in those early days when it's just, you know, a whole lot of love. It's just hitting the radio. Wow, Zeppelin are touring. And then bands got 10% of all the tickets of the massive stadium. And Peter Grant walked in and said, you get 10%. We get 90%. And the promoters in the venue as well, what is this guy in crack?
Yeah.
He said, we're Zeppelin. You either have us, you get 10%, we get 90%, or you don't. And they went, there's going to be a riot of kids if we have to cancel the gig. So they said yes. They took back and then when the police came out, when all those other big stadiums, and Bruce Springsteen have all Peter Grant to thank that they got all that money into the hands of the artists who bled and sweated for us all to have this amazing art and entertainment that's the soundtrack to our lives. They deserve it. You deserve your money. Stop fucking around. Stop letting the greed take over and drain it all out. That's what I say. And you know what I mean? Everyone has their own personal journey at getting a living and making it in whatever way they choose. I worked part-time for years and worked at gigs and ran gigs and played gigs and recorded bands to make cash and make it in the music industry. And it's a hard fucking way to go. And you know this as well. And all of our old friends, we're all in this little club of fucking veterans of it all, and we know it. But I'm telling, if you're listening to this video, I'm saying it to you: take back the industry, which is the money. Where's the get paid? Barry, your question is, how does Fanify do that? My answer is fans. It's a fan base. So the automated AI side of it, it is automatically showing the correct pieces of content to the right people at the right time to grow that relationship. And as it grows and as you unlock things on the platform, there's more types of posts that you can create that they see. So you might, Fanify will tell you, please upload the next video, not one of you playing music. Speak to your fans. Now thank them on video. Talk to them. Go, thanks for, we're so happy that you love the tunes. We see that you're engaging. And the only people who see this video are people who have engaged. They're like, they know me. They are connecting with me. They're getting value. You're giving them value. So then when you offer them, here, please pay back and, you know, give me back the value and buy a piece of me, buy that connection with the band and have the logo. That's what they're paying for. They're paying for an emotion when you buy a t-shirt or you buy an album. You're not paying for a piece of vinyl material. You're paying for feelings that live in fucking inside you. And that's what we're all doing. And that's what, that's the difference in Fanify and the bots and the pay for plays. It's very good. It's all about feelings, man.
It's all about the feelings, yeah. I love it.
It's all about the feelings, yeah.
That seems that's huge, lad. That's absolutely huge. Because I have to admit, when I saw it, I was kind of like, when I saw Fanify first, I was like, it's a good concept, but without knowing what I now know, I was kind of like, how in the name of God do you make money off it? But like, that's do you know what I mean? So that's it's
few people.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
You need to convert people into loving you enough that they'll put their money where their mouth is to buy something.
Yeah.
Fans are the lifeblood of any independent music career, and the people I've known over all the years who are doing well and keep going and not having to stop and get the job in Spa or whatever to keep the fucking lights on.
Yeah.
That's because they have more of a fan base, and you can see it by just scanning through their feeds of it's engaged. You know what I mean? People with fans will have more proper engagement. You'll see those bands and artists commenting and actually engaging with those people, which is a big part of it nowadays. Is putting yourself out there. I know
Yeah.
people have different comfort levels with that sort of thing, and I actually totally agree with that. So I say, take your art and put your, if it's you and your personality that you want to have front and center, that's fine. Like, you know, like there's sort of Daft Punks who almost have like they're literally anonymous almost. But if you're that
Yeah.
kind of way, that's fine. Put something out there. You're a
Yeah.
musician. You're creating art. You need to step out of the rehearsal room and show yourself to the world. And now it's for free and it's in your pocket. We've no idea. Like I was saying, how the recording studio industry changed from needing all those resources and all those people to run a session, and now we could, you know what I mean, with technology and the laptops and Pro Tools and all those sort of things,
Yeah.
it's much easier. And now, like there are people who become world famous bands and artists who've taken off from just a viral post from the phone. You know, all you need is your phone. That's what I always say. Just do it that way. Be free. Let the
Very good.
technology.
Yeah, I love it. There's so many people that there's so much advice out there on like the likes of YouTube and other places on how to get started, and people are always just like, oh, just get your phone. Your phone is so good nowadays. I mean, just do it on your phone, and I always it annoys me because that's not real advice. That's like that's just basically, yes, that this is how I started, but it's not really how I started. You know what I mean? It's so kind of gatekeepery and stuff like that, whereas this is opening up those gates like that. There's a little metaphor for it.
There you go. I love that. I'm going to take that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Because it annoys me, and that's what kind of inspired me to do my whole music career coaching thing now. Because I, for years, had to go and try and work out what all these sort of, I'm going to say cryptic isn't really the word, but like very vague, and of course it's very hard to, when you're giving advice, to make it apply directly to the actual person that's listening to it and direct it at their individual situation. So it's up to you to go and figure that out. But now that you've taken like the kind of the thinking out of it and the actual need to think and all that kind of crack, which got me thinking was, it's a very, very powerful thing what you've created, and obviously the algorithms and the technology that you've created. Can that then be used in more situations? Not to give you a big long list of homework to go away and do, but could you apply that to the, I don't know, the beauty industry, for example, for hairdressers or something? They really
one
like
of our clients is an enterprise client, is a local garage. And it's actually just that the guy who runs it is a DJ and manages a load of DJs. So he was a client for his DJ business last year. He signed up. And he's just creating social media. He's selling cars and he does exhausts and all this sort of, and body work, and, you know, but it's kind of trendy, kind of boy racery, kind of cool sort of stuff. So he wanted to put the music on, make posts and ads. And he's like, let's just run through Fanify. And the AI learned that it's a business and it's local and, you know, who to target to. And those posts are doing excellently. So it can,
unbelievable.
It can go into anything. Like, so we've got an Irish film company is another enterprise client, and they started because they have a documentary in the Westport Bluegrass Festival. So they're like, this is music, but it's a 15-minute music documentary, not a song. So it was a test. We tried it with the technology, and over a little bit of time, the AI learned that this is a short film, it's a documentary, it's about music, it's about bluegrass, it knows the audience, and it performed excellently. Then they added some of their other short films that have nothing to do with music, and they did really well. So I have a load of ideas that the team is working on, and we're doing the R&D, and hopefully before the end of the year, we might be rolling out something to do with game streaming.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're a streamer and you want more fans, you can use the AI can listen to your voice, watch the stream, so it knows people who like to watch streams with the little your face on it, you know what I mean? Or if it's just a game or whatever. If you're high pitched, if you laugh a lot, if you're quite quiet and talk very little, what type of, obviously with the games you're actually streaming, the content. The AI could read all that and say, here's all the people who like these types of streamers, and suggest it up on through multiple social media platforms. So that's one part into gaming. The other idea is, you know, Steam is the big gaming marketplace. And I think there's about 1,000 games published in Steam every week. And nowadays, if you have an idea about a game and a design, a cool idea, you know, even if you don't know anything about art or music or sound design, you can just, there's all these libraries you can get art assets, and you create your original creation in your head, but you use Game Maker or one of these programs, and you plug it all in, and you create your game, and you can put it up on Steam and sell it for 10 quid or 20 quid or whatever, and you can create a video of, you know, send it to people to play, create a sort of, you know, a trailer of the game.
Yeah.
And then you put your trailer up on YouTube and it sits at 100 views. And you're like, I made this game, and it's a specific, you know, whatever it is, your creative vision, you know, there's something you'd like to play this game if you hadn't made it. There's other people out there who'd like to play my game. There's only a way that I could promote this video and the game itself and the content around it to people who know nothing about it and grow them as a fan. And that's less than your music, which is a different kind of thing. It's a direct sale of a product where you're just trying to get a lead. It's actually kind of a shorter thing, but there's a similar journey there from someone discovering a game to seeing it multiple times. And what I would say to all those game developers, designers, don't learn anything about marketing. Go back to making your games and playing games and being inspired. You know what I mean? Let the technology free you. So if you're a film company, my other idea with the garage that we're doing is, because I've helped a lot of people like this, and they connect in with music very nicely. Beauty salons, hair salons, barbers, butchers, even some small local gyms, or the shops that sell gym equipment and the sort of, you know, the powders and things like that. And I think a lot of butchers sell that stuff as well, and they do protein packs and all these kind of things. And a lot of them in Dundalk that I know are young and hip, and they love social media and they do all that, but they're sole traders. They're hard-working people. Every day they're running their business on their own. Maybe they have one member of staff, or like a beauty salon, they have a few chairs, whatever it is. And they're posting on social media every day, and they're working hard, getting their clients in, and they hit boost posts on Facebook, but they're not happy with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the thing is, Boost Post is only using the existing social media network to just increase the score that it would share with anyway. Whereas something like Fanify automatically shows your content, whether it's your beauty salon and the photo of all the gorgeous nails, or the TikTok video of all the different nails, or the special offer you're running that week, and shows it to local people who are likely to spend money in a beauty salon or go to a barber's. And I would encourage people to work music into it. So they have a video like TikTok and Instagram and Reels. That's to show off your business. And put cool music on. And that will help Fanify as an AI to get you clients in the door. And when we've had that, so one of the wedding bands that's on the service, they promoted with a strong daily budget, let's say, because they wanted to get inquiries and get bookings. And they got several bookings within a day. Several inquiries within a day. Basically the phone ringing, asking about a wedding, which is a big jump for, you know what I mean? That's their bread and butter. So we can see that it works commercially, and we've proven that. And this enterprise piece and all these kind of things, they're mostly in the back end. You couldn't sign up right today with that, but hopefully in the next few months we'll build that out. And Fanify will work not just for musicians, but for local businesses, for gaming, for a lot of different things. So we have a lot of ideas. And the sky is the limit. And like we see with AI every day, it's like, Jesus, there's a new thing that's just going to explode the world and the industry and all that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, AI really has taken over the world. It's honestly crazy. It's like one of those, like, I always think back to like what I would have thought, like if at 12 years of age, someone told me that I could have like the likes of ChatGPT write my homework for me.
A robot talking to you, right?
A robot talking to you, it's crazy. Whereas we are now we literally are in that future that, like, you know, when you watch programs way back and it's like we're all flying around in flying saucers and wearing silver and like there's a head floating around the place.
Yeah, we sort of imagined a bit of it, but not like it's that different, but it's that changed. That much has changed, but just in a different way. It's cool. Yeah, exactly.
But it is, it's wild. It's wild to think that we are actually living in the future and we're like 2 steps away from Terminator. It's mental.
Yeah,
but
maybe
that's crazy.
Maybe our Skynet's coming around the corner, lads.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what a lot of the clickbait you see. Obviously, fear is a big thing with getting people's attention. You know, I don't understand all about that in marketing and pattern interrupts, etc. And so you see all don't be too afraid. All the stories are all about, everyone's worried about this AI or that AI. I'm not worried. I think it's going to be amazing, man.
I think it's going to be class.
Yeah, it's going to be class. Yeah,
I think it's going to be absolutely class.
I just love playing with them all. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it will be
amazing stuff, lad. It sounds like you're just on the cusp of being the next Bill Gates or whatever that other fella from Apple was called. What was it
Oh,
called?
I know.
Oh my God, what was your
Jobs,
man from
Steve
Apple?
Jobs. Was
Steve
it?
Jobs. Steve Jobs. Why
Tim
can I not
Tim
think of him?
Cook.
Tim
There
Cook.
was Jobs and Wozniak was the other guy, and then Tim Cook took over after Jobs passed away. He had cancer, so there you go, man. So I'm not like Jobs, man. Your health is your wealth. So there you go. Richest
Exactly.
man, or
Yeah. Yeah.
most successful man in the world, couldn't
Yeah.
there's
No, sure
more to
enough.
life than just the cash. I'm far more into the music, and that's what I love, and that's what I love about the technology, is that it's going to free us all, in my opinion. As long
Well,
as
that's lovely.
we all don't get too greedy, that's the danger, man. Is greed.
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean, and we won't get into all that side of it, but definitely that would be my fear. It's kind of, I just always put it like the soup. I used my part-time job was I worked on a till. And
Yeah.
people used to say to me, "Oh, you shouldn't use those scanners in Tesco because it's going to take you." You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I don't look at it that way. That it's like I think those robots and machines just free man hours for all of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the problem is the big company just keeps all the money, and it's just
Exactly.
the workers. So that's the balance there. That's my belief of it. You need to just stop. If you stop the greed, technology is going to free us all. But the way I'm doing it and the way I'm running Fanify and the way I want it to happen is that it's just, there's a service. Like we said, if it's dollars, if you're paying for every day, you're paying your daily budget $30 for the month, you're paying $15 for a subscription. It's the cost of 2 cups of coffee a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much are you paying on your rehearsal every week? How much do you pay when you go into the studio? How much do you pay to get it mixed? How much do you pay to get it mastered? How much do you pay DistroKid or TuneCore or CD Baby to get it distributed? So you're spending money all the way, and then you get it up, and it's the blue check mark, big Spotify logo, but you have 50 monthly listeners or less, and you're like, what do I do? And that's where, if you can afford it, we come in. I'll also say we've got a lot of free features as well. So there's things called bio links.
Yeah.
It's a customizable digital homepage. So
Lovely.
It's a shortened link, so it works in Instagram bio, which only will allow one link. It's really handy for that. So you can, if it's your new music video or your new single or your new video of you just playing on your phone, put that front and center, whatever you want. Capture emails, put your YouTube subscription button, put your follow on Spotify buttons, the click one button to do it. All of that there, that's the bio link. The smart link is another free feature that we offer. It's completely unlimited as well, so you know as much of them as you want. There's other services that offer these as well that I've used for years, and they're great. Everyone knows about like Linktree and this, but this is completely free. So we offer all of our features free for life. The smart link is basically like you're sharing your album or your new single, but you don't know if your fans are listening to Spotify or Apple or Tidal or Pandora or Amazon. One link, all the services. So one link for your single, one link for your album, and no matter where the people who click on the link listen to the music, you've got them. But the difference between Fanify's BioLink and SmartLink and everybody else is that everyone, you're organically sharing with these. Anyone who clicks on your Fanify SmartLink or BioLink gets into the tracking system, gets into the fan base algorithm. So basically, as you're promoting organically, even if you're using free features, so if you're not paying your subscription for 6 months, but you're still sharing your SmartLink and BioLink, we capture all the data for you for free. And then when if you start paying again, it knows more about your ideal listener, your ideal audience, your ideal fan, someone who we can take your content, they've never heard you before, and we just show it to them over time, just gradually, and then in a few months, they'll love you. And if you were playing in their town, they would be there and they would be telling you that they love you. Because some of the comments that I've seen, I'm going to show you, I'm going to send you another link, Barry, and you're going to read to the lovely people. At least I want one last thing before we're probably going to have to end, because I know I'm talking your absolute ears off with this, but I'm
not at all. This is all great stuff. It's great to have such passion about something that is so worthwhile. Right. That's
there you go. That's why, it's a lot. It's a big undertaking, and it's a big, huge amount of time and work and effort to put into this. But I feel that it's worth it. But hopefully does that work for you there? So that's a post to AI. Yeah. So that's actually a follow-up post to one you've seen before. But if just read some of the comments there, and just read them out.
Wish you guys luck on your new album. Great to see new acts. Your first offering on Facebook, I didn't care. Not enough originality. This one is a great improvement. More originality and a sound of your own. Great job. There you go. There's someone converted. Second time to see you perform on this media. First time I was in. Now the second post, I would say, this is amazing. Why? Yeah, really, really good engagement. And it's like it's you can clearly see that it's actually like real people as opposed to like. I think once you get above a certain amount of followers on like Instagram, yeah, I think once you get above a certain amount of followers on Instagram,
in the world, it's like
bots,
take over. Well, and that's a huge problem that all those companies are fighting. I like bots. You see, I love all this stuff. The bots is what wrecks my head because it's like it's just so pointless. Reminds me of like there's a lot of interesting things in crypto. And you know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of it in general, but what I hated about it was that to artificially create the sort of supply and demand, they make it just hugely energy inefficient that you have to run these computers and graphics cards to mine Bitcoin. So it's just wasting electricity for no reason, just to make it more valuable. You know what I mean? It was so that wrecked my head a bit. And that it reminds me of the bots that it's like you're ruining all the data and everything just for like because people want to pay to see the numbers, but it's not real. So what's the point? You know what I mean? It's fake. It's fake, and so all of those bots are costing the environment money as well. You know what I mean? Like we try to be quite eco, like particularly with the lockup. Like we have all our merch here, our lockup T-shirts. These are all like sustainably made. When we do our merch for with Fanify, like so basically that system that we're building at the moment, so it's kind of an R&D process, and we're talking with some other people about it who have done things like this before. But you just upload your logo and pick the color, pick a T-shirt or a hoodie, and if your fans are in Australia or Canada or Japan, there's a drop shipping company that will make that to the exact same standard, so you can get a test press and go, yeah, this T-shirt I like, I'd wear this, I'd sell this at a gig. Anyone anywhere in the world, there's a fulfillment center that will drop ship it to your fan. I've cardboard boxes. We have a record label. I've cardboard boxes of T-shirts right here, but you shouldn't do that. You should have guitar. You know what I mean? You should be like having to be packaging equipment and worrying about damp and shit like that. You know what I mean? You should just drop ship it automatically. Let the technology do it for you. Play your guitar and log in to record yourself once a day and post. And when you're done with the post, go Fanify dashboard. Look at my results. Look at how much fans I got, how much engagement I got. Look at all the money I'm making. That's all I want you to do. Go on your phone for 10 seconds a day and just look at the happy numbers, I call them, numbers that make you smile. Go back to writing songs because you're getting the feedback, the real feedback that what you're doing is the right thing to do with your time. You should be playing guitar. You should be writing songs because it's worth it. And the fans are out there, and reach them. Use Fanify. Like, that's what I'm saying. Maybe Fanify won't be the thing that takes over, but something will. Something's going to take
something
over
along these lines.
This part, it'll be something along these lines, and I hope it's something like Fanify that's made. That's I would like to say is more whatever egalitarian or fair or about the music and about the art, and something that maybe a Meta or one of those kind of people would be creating that may be more whatever you'd call it. You know, maybe a bit more devious or something. Maybe a bit more greedy. That's the problem. But anyway,
I've got you. I've got you. Pete, that's amazing stuff. You've given everyone, I think, plenty to work with and to think of. I'd usually ask at this stage, is there anything else that you're working on? But I think if you were working on anything else, there'd be nothing else for the rest of us to work on.
Well, check out, we'll put the link for Wimare, one of the bands that we're promoting. Their debut single is out on the 1st of March, so we'll put a link to that in the description. You might like to check them out.
Yeah. Everything and anything.
So some more links to something. There's a plenty of stuff that I'm doing on a daily basis to be sharing, but obviously Fanify is the key thing that we're talking about today. So I'll have to drop by again, Barry, and have another chat with you because it's been awesome. I love your show. I love the site and everything that you're doing. I didn't get to talk to you about that, so maybe next time we'll have 50-50. You know, it's you talk. The format is about me, but I want to chat to you about what you're doing because it's class and I love it. And it's fucking deadly, man. And it's been great talking to you, and I've had a blast. I love talking about all this stuff, and it's been wonderful, dude.
Fantastic. Well, tell you what, let's and thanks very much for doing it. It was a pleasure to have you on. Let's jump into a couple of quick fire questions just to let everyone
Cool.
decompress and debrief, and we'll call it a day then. So, as I said to everyone, these questions have no bearing on anything whatsoever. They're kind of like icebreakers at the end, because why do it the right way around? You know yourself. So,
Yeah.
question 1: what is the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
The most adventurous thing is probably when me, you, and Dave broke into certain locations around Dublin when we were drunk in the middle of the night and climbed on top of dilapidated houses and got stuck up there, and all the other sort of nonsense that we were up to. I'm not going to list anything in case there's any active cases on about that stuff.
I fucking hope not.
I could spend another hour talking about all the nonsense that I got up to with this man about 10 years ago on the streets of Dublin. But that was probably the most adventurous time. Either that or jumping into crowds of people at a gig is obviously dangerous if you care about your wrists, as I do as a guitar player. But
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That I think that's as good of an answer as any. What is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is a dog.
A dog.
I've got a Westie. I got a Westie. He's lovely. I love him.
Good stuff. If you could learn any skill, what would it be?
Now the thing that I'm mad at learning stuff, it's probably video editing, because I'm mad into audio. Like, I know done a lot of it, but I'm not like pro level. I'd love work with some great people here, but I'd love to know how to do it at a pro level. Cinematography, photography, video, all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to get into slowly, more and more.
That's one thing I struggle with as well, as the video editing side of things. It's the audio. Yeah. The audio workflows don't translate at all, and it's so annoying. But you know what's amazing?
That's the thing. It's tricky when you're mad into the audio. Yeah.
Have you come across Descript?
Descript, no. I'll look that up.
AI. So what it does is you upload this is how I edit all the podcasts. You upload your video into Descript. It'll transcribe it into a big long Word file. Basically, it looks like a Word document. And then if I say, this is Pete Rust all the way from Carrick and Shannon, it's obviously not Pete Rust all the way from Carrick and Shannon. I'll highlight, this is Pete Rust from Carrick and Shannon, delete it, and it deletes it in the video and the audio seamlessly.
Right, okay, because I've tried all the sort of audio to text and things like that, but that's cool. So it auto edits both. That's based on the text. That's very clever. I love it.
It's very, very clever. It basically, it's if you have
all the AI stuff. Go on there.
No, I'm fine. I was just going to say, Annie, if you know how to do a Word document and you've got those transferable skills, you can now edit video. It makes it very, very.
Edit video.
It's like what you're saying is that you can focus on the things that you're actually good at, and kind of you can reuse.
Yeah, what you should be able to do. Yeah. What you should be able to do, if your thing is anything. You're a lecturer of a college and you're going to do like your lecture on a video, or you have to make a video for someone or whatever it is. If you're you run a team, you're a team leader and you need to do a video for your team with the key information. You should be able to like record yourself, whatever content needs to be, and at the end you hit stop and you tell the AI, clean that up for me. It has looked at 1,000 humans cleaning it up for you, and it just knows where to cut. And then you just press play and you go, it just should do it perfectly. You shouldn't even have to play back. It should be that good that it knows like a professional engineer or editor or whatever knows that stuff, because they're doing it every 40 hours a week, every day for decades. Yeah. They know what's right and what's wrong. The AI needs to just learn that and just do it for you. Like, it is like there's a lot of people, like the boom operators are all out of a job now across the entire film industry because of Adobe's AI voice enhancement technology. Yeah, because like I was saying, that it's freeing the film industry now, because all you need, you can put a mic anywhere and you can just record the film on your phone, and the AI will regenerate the voice perfectly because it hears the voice and knows what to do just because it's done it. It's all about iteration. So we call it the iterative process. So that's I just did this every day, and the AI learned what I did, and I learned what everybody else did. And like I said, it looks at the results, and then it goes, how did a good result happen, and how did a bad result happen, and it learns, and it just repeats, and it gets better and better and better. and every time, yeah, every time it repeats, it improves and optimizes and all that kind of thing. So that's, all like the whole world, like that's what I was saying. AI is going to change everything more than the internet did. And we see, like, we are the last generation who growing up in the 90s, and it was all, you know what I mean, it was pre all that stuff, and now it's like completely different.
We're the last generation to know the pain of your Game Boy cartridge not working until you blow into it.
Yeah. Oh, I used to love blowing into them there. Yeah, that was class. Or that, when you're playing your Game Boy and you got stuck in the game and you were just stuck.
And you were just stuck. There was nothing to be done.
You're just stuck in the game. I remember that I just was like, all right, like my dad would be like, oh, you finished that game now? And I'd think for a second, go, yeah, I am finished because I'm stuck in the game. But yeah, they were the days.
Those were the days.
We are old. That's what this conversation means. We're old now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we look.
Pete, it's been an absolute.
You're looking gorgeous.
Sure, look at aren't we all aging gracefully? The lot of us.
Absolutely, man.
Pete, it's been an absolute pleasure having this conversation with you. Before I let you go, where can people find you? Where can people find Fanify? Promote yourself all over the place, lad.
Fanify.io is the website. So if you Google it, obviously we're Fanify Music on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and Twitter and YouTube. And the website is fanify.io. So go on there and start building your fan base today.
You're a gorgeous man, Pete. I'll talk to you in the next one.
Talk to you, Barry.